Hello and greetings from Arequipa, Peru. One of the final gifts that Pope Francis gave to the Church was the Jubilee Year, with its motto, Pilgrims of Hope. Indeed, persevering in hope in today's world and Church is no small feat. Closer to home, the last general chapter has noted, I quote, "Our numbers have not increased since 2018. On the contrary, the number of the elderly members is growing." How can we continue to hope in the face of such a dim picture? Let me share with you an insight I received this Easter season. The Gospel we proclaim on Easter Sunday is the discovery of the empty tomb as recounted in the Gospel of John. There we read that the beloved disciple who ran to the tomb with Peter went in, saw, and believed. It strikes me how little evidence was needed for the beloved disciple to believe. No appearance of the risen Lord, as the text says, just the sight of the burial clothes there and the cloth that covered his head, not with the burial clothes, but rolled up in a separate place. That was enough for him to believe. This made me realize that the more one has experienced God's love, the less evidence one needs to believe. To me, this also explains why no apparition of the risen Lord is mentioned in relation to the Blessed Virgin Mary, not even in the list composed by Paul in 1 Corinthians. She whose experience of God's love was even greater than that of the beloved disciple needed no proof. She was so certain that her son would rise from the dead. It thus becomes imperative for each one of us not to shy away from God's love, but rather to remain constantly open to it. As the comparison goes, there might be warm and gentle sunlight outside, but I can still choose to stay inside in the dark, in the cold. If I'm struggling to keep my hope alive, it might indicate that I'm not sunbathing enough in God's love, which for me is the very definition of contemplative prayer. But it is not only through prayer that God's love seeks to reach us. We believe in an incarnate God, meaning that God constantly tries to reach us through each other. It is in the respective community, in our respective community, whether it's family, lay, or religious community, that God's love aspires to take flesh. This places a great responsibility on each one of us. We are all called to be channels of God's love, all to be brothers and sisters. This makes the spiritual testament of our founder even more relevant to our missionary endeavor, wherein he exhorts the members to keep mutual love above all things. When we strive to love each other as brothers and sisters, we not only become living witnesses of the gospel, but we also strengthen each other in hope. To me, our founder is a striking example of a beloved disciple who kept hope alive with so little evidence. We could list many circumstances and situations that might have crushed his hope in establishing our society. Yet, he kept hoping against all hope, because he was rooted in a profound experience of God's love. He expresses this most beautifully in his discernment exercise that led him to pursue the priesthood, an event we are commemorating on this day, where he wrote, "The desire to give myself totally to God, who has suffered so much for my sins." In his biography, Father Tony identifies this as one of the three key phrases that guided the Piro throughout his life. In the past weeks, as Pope Francis' spiritual testament was revealed to the world, we're reminded again how dear the Blessed Virgin Mary was to him. We could say that just as our founder gifted us with community, in his testament, Pope Francis gifted us with Mary, two realities which are deeply interconnected. In scripture and theology, what is said of Mary can also be said of the Church and therefore of the Christian community. Thus, as we celebrate the graced moment when our founder, during a Marian celebration, found light and strength to respond to God's will, let us, like him, embrace our identity as beloved disciples, so that we may too proclaim with our lives that hope does not disappoint. May God bless you.